Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. It is Friday, May 26th. A question came in on my community page about uh, election, the elections in Harris County, Texas. Harris County is one of the largest counties, if not the largest county in Texas, with 5 million people, and includes Houston area in it. In 2022, there were issues during the election that multiple polling places ran out of paper for paper ballots. And the Democrats did very well in Harris County, and the Republicans sued because of what they felt were irregularities in Harris County. So now the Texas legislature is advancing a bill that would allow the Secretary of State to redo elections in Harris County if they suspect that there are issues. So, two questions. One, what's the current situation with Harris County? And two, will the Republicans try and weaponize this? Now, in reading up on this, both Republicans and Democrats agree that one of the biggest problems in Harris County was the training of the polling staff. There's been a large number of turnover with the people running it, and there were concerns that the training wasn't up to speed or up to par, and that's been they're looking at improving that. But what is the current situation with the Harris County ballots and the whole process with the polling places? Okay, well, the truth is being revealed on that one. So again, I think when they talked with both Republicans and Democrats are saying there's an issue with the training, they shouldn't ever run out of paper ballots and stuff like that. By looking, they're finding what the issues are. And if you're finding what the issues are, it means you can correct them. What's going to cross that? Well, politics are going to cross that. Go figure. Politics and election polling places. Who knew? This is just going to be the fighting, the arguing, the blaming of it. It's kind of a human nature, right? You find a problem, instead of saying, okay, there's a problem, let's fix it. It's whose fault is it? In the past, the elections went forward, but when you're running out of stuff, you're not exactly in control of the situation. So you can think of the cherries being reversed, that things were going a little bit crazy. They weren't under full control. And for a polling place, regardless if it's Republican or Democrat, that's no good. The whole point of American politics and American elections is you have to have faith in the results. And if you're not in control, then you can't have as much faith in the results. I don't blame the GOP for questioning this, because it could very well be a shenanigans going on for something like that. And who would know better than the party that seems to do a lot of the shenanigans and then projects it onto other people? They probably recognize shenanigans easily because they've already thought of it. Current situation, strength. Okay, so strength and mastery. So this is double-edged. The mastery portion of this, again, is going to be the training and making sure the election workers are well trained. It's also strengthening up the controls that you have in place, the systems you have in place, the raw materials that you need to make sure that your elections are free, fair, and reliable. So it looks like they're bolstering the weaknesses, or at least the things they found as per the Sun card. The overarching energy is the betrayal. What you absolutely don't want is people to think that they can't trust the votes coming out of this county. The betrayal card could relate to one article I was reading where I guess a bunch of Republicans that had been there for a number of years, up to about 2016, were removed. And they were very skilled at what they did, and they were replaced with probably Democrats who were not as skilled. So that could be viewed as a betrayal. But I think, I think the election workers, generally speaking, regardless of their political party, they try and do the right thing because they're fervent believers in democracy. The folks that don't believe in democracy tend to be very, very wealthy. You know what I mean? Because democracy takes their money and their power and their decisions away. They'd much prefer an oligarchy. No, I think this is the overarching concern is if the Secretary of State has the ability to overturn or redo elections in Harris County, you are betraying the will of the voters. And we've seen that. Not so much we've seen in the United States, but we've seen the attempts at it. The whole 2020 big lie, so many different ways to say, oh, these elections are fraudulent, we need to redo them. And this legislation is advancing the country closer to the ability to perform a coup over elections results. The lesson to be learned is if you don't strengthen your elections and they pass this through, this could be the end of democracy as we know it. This could be the end of free and fair elections. So a lot rides on Harris County's ability to get their ducks in a row and get their county voting in order. Outcome, Queen of Swords. I think this will be looked at very closely, probably by judges and other officials that look at that. They will be harsh but fair. So I think that they should be okay as they come out of this, but they have to be very careful about the changes they're putting in place and the ability for somebody else to cause problems. Underneath I have the wedding card, so opening day. Wedding cards, it's the wedding card, but it's also opening day. So I think underneath that is when it comes time for the elections, they should be all right. I think they're going to be okay. That doesn't mean this legislation won't pass, but I think Harris County is going to get their act together so that there's no reason to enact this. Now, that being said, give this deck a couple more shuffles. Assuming this legislation passes, okay, well, let's step back. How about this? Will the Republicans, will the party in power, in this case it would be the Republicans, weaponize this bill? This bill, mind you, only impacts counties over like 2 million or 3 million people, which is a very few counties in Texas. And as you might probably imagine, those are probably all left-leaning. So you can see where this is set up to be an ability to overturn elections that favor Democratic candidates. Will the Republicans try and weaponize this bill if they're given the opportunity? Well, that's interesting. Okay, so we've got the victim card, the person that feels like they're stuck, Ace of Cups, the Moon card, and the Four of Swords. And underneath is the Eight of Wands. Okay, so what do we have? I think the Republicans will get this passed. They're going to basically say there's nothing else we could do. You forced us into doing this because we can't trust you. And they're going to work very quickly to get this passed so that they can pretty much hold Harris County hostage. This is going to, on the positive side, this will force Harris County to make sure that everything is, they have all their ducks in a row. But make no mistake, if there's any irregularities, they're coming in. And they're going to come in and say, oh my God, there's irregularities. Look, we don't know what happened. We're going to have to come in and do this. It's going to really stir up people's emotions and get people all aggravated and worked up. And then once they go in there, it's going to take a bit of time to sort out all the votes. Like if they're going to do a hand audit or even if they overturn the election, it's going to take time to redo the elections. So the question is, would they weaponize it? The answer is yes, they would. Or I should say, they will have no problem using it. Whether they're weaponizing it to maintain power or they're doing it to maintain controversy under the guise of a problem, yeah, they probably would. given the current state of the GOP. Now, maybe once upon a time, several decades ago, maybe not so much, but right now, in the current political climate, this bill is not good for democracy. But Harris County does have control over the situation, and they can basically not give the Texas House reason, or the Secretary of State reason, to come in and redo those elections. Okay, so that's my take on Harris County elections and the Texas legislature with their bills. I hope you like this video. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate the support and the questions that you throw at me, and look forward to doing more videos for you. Take care.